Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. And once again, we have back for Game 4, our very own coach, Joe Servati, and Deb Lutz are with us today to discuss Game 4 of the NBA Finals. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk in general, we would love to have you join us. You can join us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Send us a DM at DFS Coach Talk. We have memberships that start as low as $4.99 a week. We cover all the major sports. I'll get into that more later, but for now, let's go ahead and talk, guys, so far about our feelings on the series. Coach, I know you're not happy. Deb, what you've seen, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So how's everybody doing on this Friday afternoon?
Hey, I'm surviving the 109-degree heat down here in,
oh my God.
in Phoenix.
Wow.
Yep. Coach and I are both in our, sleeveless.
Yeah. I mean, it's hot here, and I'm about to go mow my lawn after this podcast. So yeah, it's hot, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's hot here too, upper 90s. Definitely feeling the heat for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt. Is my picture coming through okay, or am I delayed?
I think it's coming through okay. Can you see it, Deb?
I can see you. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I thought I was delayed.
Your voice is a little off from your face, but
it's like a Godzilla movie then. Oh, exactly. No, Godzilla, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like on a delay.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
That is strange. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm still wearing my gear. Certainly took a day here to just breathe a little bit after that last fiasco. Oh man, that was a hard one to swallow. No doubt.
For sure, Coach.
I do have some points I want to bring forward if I can.
Absolutely.
I'll feel much better. This will be like therapy for me. So
yeah.
Definitely. But hello to the DFS Coach Talk family. Certainly miss you guys. For anybody that caught the one we did the other day, hello again. And who knows? I don't know when I'll be back on another show. It might be a while. So, for everybody, I hope they're doing great. Hope they listen in and hope they can get something out of this for this game today. But couple things, and I'd love to get you guys input, but there's 4 things I wanted to discuss real quickly, and not only is it venting for me, but maybe it will also help in when we're talking about today's game and how people can build out their fantasy and lineups and do their drafts and do all of that stuff as well. First of all, the 2 biggest points, I don't know if people are talking about it as much, but to me, the 2 things that I thought were just beyond egregious and just really caused the Mavericks to lose that game were, number one, well, first, of course, you can't start out the way you did and get down 21 points. Mm-hmm. But they made the move, and then there were 2 things that Jason Kidd did in this game. And I really put this on Coach Kidd. I know he's had a decent year and everything, but just unbelievable, rookie coach, beyond rookie coach mistakes. He called a timeout when the Mavericks were on a 20-2 run. Drew Holiday had just chuck and ducked a shot. They were all out of sorts. Luka had the ball. We were pushing it forward, and he calls a timeout. It killed all the momentum, all the crowd noise, everything else, slowed everything down. Then there was a replay, and it just devastated any momentum that was there.
Yeah.
Made no sense. The second piece, and we talked about this at the beginning of the series, Tim Hardaway has been a piece of dog doo-doo. I love the man. He's a nice man. He's contributed to the Mavericks for several years. Nothing against him personally, but he has played like garbage. How in God's name do you play a guy 19 minutes in basically an elimination game when he hasn't been playing? He has no baskets in the series. You've got Jaden Hardy that's got all this newfound, confidence and exposure and just ready to step forward. You have Derrick Jones Jr., who, yes, he's had a really bad series, but he's been a defensive stopper and a finisher at the rim the whole season and immensely in the playoffs. And I could go on down the line. So to me, that timeout and the decision to play Hardaway for 19 minutes. And by the way, he had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals. He did nothing. Yeah. He was minus a whole bunch for the time he was in there. So I was just furious. I thought that was ridiculous. The other two pieces, I want to put those together as well. They're combined. The one is the refereeing. I thought they were inconsistent. I thought that they were trying to take too big of a role in the game. You do not foul out the best player on the planet in a final series unless he punches somebody in the face. You just don't. But I want to say part of that is Luka's fault. And nobody's a bigger Luka fan than me. But when you piss and moan and cry and point and slope down the court and point and bark at every damn call, refs are not going to give you the majority of those calls. Yeah. I get that. I get it. It's human nature. You learn that when you're in 5th grade at the YMCA. Okay. So why can he not control himself to the point where you just have to, your adrenaline's going. It's biggest game you've ever played in, but channel it elsewhere. Or somebody like Kidd needs to grab a hold of him, or somebody and say, listen, you have 4 fouls. You have 5 fouls. Get your shit together here. Focus. Yeah. So I blame him and I blame the refs for that piece. But I think the onus of that loss really does fall on Kidd. So that being said, Boston's the better team. They're going to win this series. And I'm okay with that. I get it. Dallas needed to get there, taste this, and feel it. I think they'll add a good veteran. They'll add some more complementary pieces. And I think, you could see them back in the finals 2 or 3 of the next 5 or 6 years. I really do, because I think Luka will end up being an MVP in this league. I think the whole team will get a lot out of this. Derek Lively just turned 20. You got a young Hardy that's coming to his own. So there's some good building blocks on the squad. So I just wanted to share that, and let's utilize that too when we're talking like, how is this game going to be affected with all of that noise that went on? Because, and I'll turn it over to you guys to give some comments on this. So number one is, do you guys think Boston takes the foot off the gas here and doesn't play a real sharp game? And secondly, do you think that Dallas is going to rise up and say, we are not going to get swept in a home game and try to pull one out? I just wanted to see what your guys' feedback was on that.
Yeah, I think both. I think Boston will not let their foot off the gas. I think that they're going to take it as serious as they have the first 3 games. But I do think Dallas finds a way to win this game. I think we're going to give our predictions for Game 4 at the end of the show. But I do think that Dallas is going to find a way to extend this series.
Okay. What do you think, Deb?
I think Luka's injured. I think he's not 100%. He has not had a great series, and they just don't have enough firepower after Luka. Obviously, Kyrie, he showed up finally the last game. He had a great game. I mean, he can be tremendous. He's fun to watch. But I just don't think they have enough firepower. And without Luka being 100%, you're not getting, when you look at the fantasy, you're not getting the 70-point games from Luka. He's playing, sort of humanly. And I think Boston smells blood. I don't think they want to even, consider taking the series any longer. I think they just want to, take the championship and be done. I think they come out, as hard as ever. And I don't think that, I just don't think when it comes down to the crunch time and the players on the floor, at the end of the game that Dallas can outduel Boston at this point. I don't know how many changes you can actually make. They just don't have guys to go to. I mean, I know you talked about Hardy. You know, the problem with it, and I like Hardy. I think he's a great offensive player, but I don't think he's someone that you can rely on right now in a scheme. I mean, we'll see. Luka's got to control himself foul wise for sure. But I saw him at the end, like hobbling off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's affecting him. So I think Boston shows up big. The question I have is Jason Tatum going to have a breakout game, or is he just going to the player of the series is Brown. I mean, he far and away has been, outplaying Tatum in this series. Tatum sort of, a little bit disappeared in a way. So we'll see, what happens in this game.
Well, he definitely played better in game 3. He had 31 points, I think. So he definitely played better in game 3. And you were talking earlier about the Tim Hardaway thing, Coach. I think they just thought, hey, we got to try something. We're down 3-0. We need a third scoring option. Maybe Hardaway can give us a lift, and it can't get any worse. Well, it did. So that's just where I think they were at. So I think Hardy's going to get the minutes that he was getting earlier in the series and against Minnesota. But I don't know if it'll matter that much. But I do think somehow, some way, Dallas finds a way to win this game tonight. So
let me comment on a few things, because some things I completely agree with Deb, and some things I'd like to counterpoint with you a little bit. First of all, in the Luka situation, he in a preseason game when it doesn't matter and he's playing 5 minutes, he'll take a little elbow or a little poke to the cheek, and it's European soccer. You think he's going to have his skull removed and his leg taken off, and be the $6 million. They're going to have to carry him out on a stretcher. So as far as, and the press nationally, when he's on TV, they don't see him all the time. Every single time, every game, all year, he looks like he's going to die. It looks like he's going to retire, that he could never play again, and it's a season-ending, career-ending injury. So when he limps, when he grabs his face, when he grabs it's all bullshit. I mean, he needs to quit that European soccer stuff and just play the game. It's so agile. I'm a Mavericks fan and I'm a Luka fan, but that part of his game. Now, does it work sometimes because the other team thinks, oh, he's tired or he's hurt, and then he blows by or backs you down and scores or hits, a 40-foot step back 3? Maybe he tries to dupe people into it, but you just see that all the time. So I don't believe he's hurt any more than anybody else. Really.
You don't think he's
was that
absolutely not.
The game 3? Was that game 3 when they said he was going to be a game time decision, or was that game 2?
He's been questionable every game. Bullshit. I mean, he's it's like they listed LeBron and AD questionable every game.
Yeah.
Listen,
I wasn't going to try not to go there, Coach, because everybody always calls me the hater. But
every guy on the court right now is banged up. You don't play all these games this physical and you're not be banged up. It's just that he has to put 97 wraps around and 2 blankets and a massager and a gun thing. And I mean, come on, man.
He's drama. You're saying he's drama, huh?
He's the best player in the league, in my opinion, offensively, and I think he's going to be an MVP. But I don't know. I don't know why he has. Maybe he motivates himself with that. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I don't think he's any more hurt than anybody else. The second thing is, everybody has this perception of, oh, Luka's not having a great series. First of all, he had a 20-point triple-double the other day again.
Yeah.
He leads the NBA in playoff scoring, rebounding, and assists. The 3 main categories that are out there. Leads them. And so the guy is an absolute phenom that doesn't make sense. Sometimes he looks like you wouldn't even pick him first down at the rec to be in a pickup game. Yeah. He looks slow, he's backing down, but he's absolutely amazing. And I just think he's people are starting to underappreciate how awesome he really is. And I think statistically, in the history of the NBA playoffs, we're talking Havlicek and, all the greats, Wilt Chamberlain, you name it. He is just neck and neck right now with Michael Jordan, the only two guys to ever average 33 points or better in all of their playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, that's my point, right? So he is incredible. And, look, we all played DFS all season long. I mean, he was like the DFS points leader all season. Jokic aside, maybe for part of it, but like he's a triple double machine. He dominates completely. And I guess that's my point, right? Is that if you look at his average from a DFS standpoint this series, and part of it I think is that they've really kept down his field goal percentage. He's thrown a lot of shots up, hasn't made as many as he typically does. His average is down in this series versus, any of the other playoff series, as well as the regular season. So that's my point. And I attribute it to maybe him being a little dinged up. Obviously the Boston defense is fantastic. I mean, White and Holiday are going to give him fits. But the point is that if you can't get a 65 plus DFS game out of Luka, I just don't think they've got the firepower to match up.
Well, I agree with you and disagree with you at the same point, because here's the thing. Who's dominating with the most points by a lot in the playoffs this year from a fantasy perspective?
Most?
By a lot.
For the entire playoffs?
Yes.
Luka.
Yes, it's
Luka. It's not, it's a mile
right.
apart.
No. I think what Deb's saying is just for these.
Let me finish though. I'm not saying that he's not down from his regular season stuff. I get that. But he's still dominant compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I attribute all of it to Boston. Boston is awesome. Absolutely awesome. If you put Derek White and Drew Holiday on any team defensively and then add Brown and Tatum, you've got four guys, in my opinion, that are in the top 15 to 20 defensive players in the whole league at any position. So, that's why Boston has won almost, an enormous amount of games. Their defense is phenomenal. On the ball, this is the only team all year that doesn't double Luka. They don't blitz him. They don't double him. They just say, you know what? I'm good enough. Brown's good enough. Derek's good enough, Holiday's good enough, and they play him, and that's how good they are. So I think I agree with you that he is, he's down. But if you look at every DraftKings, drafters, anything that you draft, anything that you build lineups on, Luka's still wildly the number one pick and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yet they still held him down somewhat,
Yeah, and he's averaging 51.4 fantasy points in this series in the 3 games.
Yeah.
And he had one good game. They're all good games by most people's standards, but for Luka's standards, one good game in game 2, he had 65.7 DraftKings points.
Yeah.
That's really the only game where he's had that more of a monster type game. He needs to have that every single game for them.
Yeah, and that's what Deb's saying. I think that's 75 or any. I don't think anybody's getting 75 on Boston. I don't care who it is. It's
not in the playoffs.
That damn good.
He did it in the regular season, but the playoffs is obviously different.
It's a whole different ball game. But yeah, he's. I just am interested. I am so intrigued to see the mindset of Boston and Dallas today. Is Dallas going to be distraught and give up? Is Boston going to just crush them? Because Boston may want to just sort of chill a little and finish it off at home. It's such a hard call to determine who's going to be focused in and ready to go.
It's hard. Let's face it. It's hard to sweep a team. It's really hard. And the other thing is that they just swept Indiana, even though every game was close. So are they going to go with a back-to-back sweep? I don't think so. I think they go back to Boston. I think they finish it off there. But I think Luka's going to have, I'll say 72 fantasy points tonight.
Whew. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to say, I see my chat did pop up now. So Doug L, how you doing? And Boy from Cali, how about that, man? I have not
Hey,
said hello from Boy from Cali in like a year.
Yeah,
he was, bro.
He was away from us for about a month and a half, I think, and then he came back for June, and he's been with us for the finals. It's been great.
He's the best.
So yes, Boy from Cali, it's great to have you in our
Love
chat.
To have you. I got to correct Boy from Cali, though. This is not Luka. This is vintage Kyrie, sir.
Yeah.
Got the Kyrie jersey on, so there you go. So we're going to still be wearing it. But win, lose, or draw, like I said earlier, I like the Mavs' future. I like the fact that they got in there to taste it, feel it. And, everybody goes through this. I mean, Golden State lost before they won. Everybody does.
Yeah. Look at Boston. I mean, Boston.
Boston's
yep. Now
Boston.
Yep. Hey, I'll tell you the guy, and you talked about the future of the Mavs, and I agree. I'm in love with Derek Lively. He's good.
He's got so much energy.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I know this is an NBA Finals show, but I do want to shout out Boy from Cali because he had a $315 takedown last night. So that was very nice.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah.
He always has takedowns.
MLB or
in baseball. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, he had an awesome baseball lineup. Yeah.
He's the king of the takedown, man.
Yeah.
I think he's undercover. I think he's really Shohei's betting guy.
Yeah.
All this.
Isn't he in jail?
Is he? I don't know.
But yeah, he should be. So I guess before we get to our predictions and prize picks and all that, if we just want to say kind of what we're thinking for our lineup construction tonight. To me, Jaylen Brown, I mean, it's hard to get away from him. He's been so consistent. So most of my lineups I've looked at have had him in there for sure. Anyone else that you guys, I mean, besides maybe Luka, that you're wanting to build around tonight?
Yeah, I mentioned Derek Lively. I think points per dollar. I think he's probably one of the best tonight. Yeah. He's just, really his price hasn't come up. I see him. I mean, he's taking Gafford's minutes and playing well. So, without Porzingis in there, I think he will, play a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really high on him tonight. And then, I'm looking at either White or Holiday or both, but one of those guys is going to have a big game. And I just have to figure out which one I'm able to squeeze in. White's a little bit more expensive than Holiday, but one of those two guys for sure.
Yeah, Holiday's regressed a little bit the last couple games, the last game. So I would look at him for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going Captain Tim Hardaway Jr.
No. No, you're not.
Bad joke. Sorry.
He's not going to find a lineup in a 10-cent contest for you.
Oh no, I think I look at it this way. Jaylen Brown's basically going to have to fall on his head not to get MVP of this thing. So, I don't know if you noticed, though, it looked to me like Jason Tatum was trying to step up a little bit more toward the end of that game as far as taking a few more shots, taking charge of a few things. That rivalry of everybody now in the press saying, hey, Brown's better than Tatum. Why is Tatum on the Olympics and Brown isn't? So I think, again, trying to look at the psychological piece, I'm thinking Tatum's going to say, hey, I'm first team NBA, bro. I'm bringing the ball up. This is my team. And I think he steps up. I think Tatum's my man today just for that purpose. I think this next game or two, he's going to try to at least shorten that gap a little bit on, Brown being the MVP, which he probably will be. So that's my theory there. The guy that I like for the Mavericks is PJ Washington because he's just so courageous and so gutsy. And he's the guy that's going to play 38 minutes unless he gets in foul trouble. So I think those are two guys I'm going to have in every lineup. and be looking to draft early on. I think Luka will have a Luka game, but depending on what site and where you're playing, it's going to cost you a fortune for him, but hard not to put him in there. Even though I got the jersey on, I think I'd go Luka over Kyrie this game, even though I was on Kyrie this last game, which was great. But, the sad thing is all the pain that I had watching that last game, Dawson and I we were in literal tears. I crushed in fantasy. I killed fantasy, but I was still devastated by that loss. But anyway, so for me, it's going to be a key focus on Tatum and PJ as my two key players. And I think I'm with Deb on Lively over Gafford for the big spot for sure. And he's cheaper.
Hey, Coach, what do you think about Derek Jones? Do you think they go back to him tonight?
Wow, he totally gave up on him. I think he will play a little more tonight. He's had a horrendous series. He's had his shot blocked 5 times. How do you jump? You have a 87 million inch vertical and you get your ball blocked 5 times. I don't know. I wouldn't play him. I think it's too risky. I think even if he does get more toward his minutes again, he's just playing bad. And he has a lot of blank minutes there. So I'd go elsewhere. You've got all those guys for Boston. They don't fall into the stinking trap with the dude from Boston that hit 4 threes or whatever.
Right, Hauser.
Don't fall for the Hauser trap, please. That'd be a rookie mistake. And I could see Josh's lineup right now. He's going to put him in there, and I'm going to say, Josh, don't play him.
I'm about to take him out right now, Coach.
I knew it. I can read your lineups without seeing them.
Real quick, I just wanted to shout out. We've got somebody I've never seen in here before. He said he's new. Don't play, I don't recall. Great to have you with us. Like I said, hit me up on Twitter, and I'm going to get you in our Discord for the first week for free. So just send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll get you in there.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I respond to our new Don Pla? I don't recall. I agree with you, my friend. And I think what the Mavericks need to do is add a third player in this offseason that can create his own shot. Because what you're getting is one-on-one for Luka, one-on-one for Kyrie, and everybody else just spots up. And if somebody goes and pressures the ball, then they'll give an open 3. The thing that's killed Dallas in this series is Boston. Like I said, they don't trap. They don't go double the ball. They don't blitz. So no one's left open. And you've got Derek Jones and PJ and these guys stand there picking their nose at the 3-point line, and they're still being guarded. So, what Dallas could really use is a guy that can create his own shot, score 15 to 18 points, and be a really legit third option to those two guys. So I'm with you, Don.
Yeah. You know who they could use, and that's one of my guys, Chris Middleton. That dude.
Oh, he'd be perfect.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Can we? Is there any chance we can get him?
Yeah, we'll give you Middleton for, let's see,
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Lively and a draft pick or something.
We'll take We'll give you Tim Hardaway Jr. and you can give us a second pick as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell no. That's one of the. Not going to pick up the phone on that one. So, yeah. Let's see here. You think the vets for Boston will go all out tonight as Holiday and Horford? They smell blood in the water. They might want to get I can definitely see that. Horford and Holiday, he's obviously won it with my Bucks, but Horford, this is his 15th year in the league or something.
Yeah.
He's never won a championship, and he's got. I have a question for you guys, and actually I'll give credit to Dawson on this one because he asked me. He said, if Boston does win it this year, and is Horford going to retire? Because he's going to be 39. He's been on defensive first, all defense first team. He's made all-star teams. Now he has a championship. So is he going to retire? And secondly, is he a Hall of Fame guy?
Man, he's going to be – I think he's going to end up being in that long list of borderline Hall of Famers. I don't know if I'd put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna err on the side of I think he's gonna make it. You know, after we talked about it yesterday and I looked up some of his numbers, I mean, he's done it for a long time. I mean, he has, and he's always the guy that's the glue guy too. He defends, he'll get you rebounds, he'll hit you a big three.
Yeah.
And his defense, I mean, look at how he's defending now at 38. Yeah. He gets out there and plays
it. He gives it his all every game. That's for sure.
Yeah. Doug L, I do like Josh Green tonight as the flyer cheap guy, by the way. So I'm with you on that one. And if you play Hauser, I will make fun of you. I won't let you hear it. I won't do it publicly, but I'll just say it under my breath by myself. I'll make fun of whoever plays Hauser. So if that doesn't, that means he's going to hit 5 threes and win the game or something.
Yeah, really.
Don't pay Hauser, but how about Tillman?
I like Tillman. I'd play him.
Yeah. I mean, he's
emergency last guy in. Right? I think Tillman does. I mean, Cornette never saw the floor, which shocked me. I thought Tillman and Cornette would share a little bit of that backup, but Tillman's good. He's a nice little ball. You know, he's pretty young too. That was the other thing I looked up. I couldn't believe it. He's only 25 years old. So yeah, Tillman's got a nice little career ahead of him, I think.
All right, Coach. I don't have Hauser in my lineup, so I've already avoided that pitfall. So
thank God.
You know he's going to go off for like
right. He's going to hit 6 threes or something tonight.
Well, he's going to get minutes because of his last performance, but I just think that was out of.
All right, would you play Hauser over Hardaway?
I would, if I was down at the Roanoke Rec Center right now and it was you win, you stay on, I would pass on Maxi Kleba. I'd send him to the other squad. And I feel bad because I love Maxi. Again, this isn't my Dallas fandom thing. He's one of my favorite guys. He's an awesome guy. But right now, he's hurt. He's slow. He can't defend. He can't shoot. I don't know what a whole lot. I mean, he can hand a towel to the guy coming to the bench. Is what
Doug asked if Horford's made an All-Star game.
Yes.
I think he has. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, with
Atlanta. The time Atlanta, they had 4 guys on the team that when they went to the Eastern Finals, and he was on the All-Star team. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Let's see any other questions in the chat. That's a good question. We don't know what happened to Tim Hardaway.
He's a streak shooter. He always has been. Even when he was in his best, he'll make 4 or 5 threes in a row, but then he'll miss 7 or 8, and he just keeps shooting. He got injured this year. He got out of sync, and he hasn't got enough minutes and enough focus to get back. So he's just off his game. He's oft injured, and he's just, the decision to play him 19 minutes is absolutely ridiculous.
So one of the guys I had circled for, he's kind of in between mid and value, is Derek Jones Jr. Do you think he has a good game tonight?
I wouldn't risk it. He's had a horrible series. His minutes now have been all over the place. I do think he'll get some minutes back. And as a Mavs fan, I hope he plays a little better. But I don't think he's worth it. I mean, for the price he is, he's cheap. But I'd almost go dirt cheaper with a guy a Green or a emergency Tillman or, someone in that realm where you can even save more. It's been now, 2 weeks of Jones playing bad. And then when you lose all those minutes, he basically abandoned going to him in the second half. Mm-hmm. So I think it's too risky.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm definitely not going to – I think Pritchard's more of a play-at-home guy. They talk about the others and how they play better at home than on the road. I think he's definitely one of those guys. He's not somebody I'm looking to roster. So.
I'm sort of shocked that Hauser's played the role that I thought Pritchard would play, to be honest with you, in this series. Mm-hmm. Hauser's been a contributor. Pritchard really hasn't.
Yeah, he really hasn't. Doug said Hardaway has no wiggle to create currently. Yeah, he doesn't have any wiggle, but he also doesn't have a shot. He missed I don't know how many open shots, the other night. So That was
Oh,
bad.
he's a shooter. When he's in there, he's going to shoot. And like
Yeah.
I say, he can drill 3 or 4 in a row, but
yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think that's
right now. No.
what they were hoping for. But
Yeah.
he just does. He's not in that rhythm. All right, let's look at Prizepicks, which shout out to you, Coach. I think you nailed every one that we mentioned on the last podcast. You had Porzingis for 20. He scored exactly 20. You had Lively and Gafford under. They both went under. I mean, you nailed them all. So
yeah, but I didn't play Prizepicks.
I know.
So I hope to God our listeners played it.
Yeah.
I think I went 4-0 or 5-0 on the ones we talked about, and I thought, why aren't I playing Prizepicks anymore? It's been too long. I haven't played it. So I hope somebody had made some money.
Brown or Tatum tonight, Doug says.
Tatum for me. I think Brown's going to get more ownership, but I think Tatum steps up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the chance he's been waiting for. I mean, I know Brown has too, but Tatum's got to get the monkey off his back.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. You've got Jaylen Brown, 42.5 fantasy score. Over, under, what do you guys think?
Wow.
I'm going to say under. I'm going to say like 40.
I'm gonna take the chicken's way out here because I always give my honest opinion. I wouldn't play it because I think it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It could go either way, so I would pass.
Okay.
I'm
Next
with
one,
you on that, Coach.
Luka.
What's Deb say?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I would pass. I feel like it's
Okay.
Yeah. I thought she was saying that she would pass too. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Luka, 58 fantasy score.
I'm going to take the over.
Me too.
I'm going to take the over.
Okay.
Can you tell my
very
excitement
enthused about that? I can tell, Coach. All right, Kyrie, 25 points.
Under for me.
Man, I'm right there.
I think he has 20, 21, 22.
I think he gets 24. That's like right there.
Right
I
there.
hope he scores. As a Mavs fan, I hope he scores 40.
Sure.
What did he score? He scored what, 35 last game?
35 last game. Yeah.
How much was that? Of that was after Luka was out, though.
Not about 8, 6, 8. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot.
He had some tough shots. He had some good shots.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good game.
I mean, that's a lot of points, though.
Yeah. He hasn't been scoring that much. Couple of maybe won a series. He gets over that. So correct. I got to say the under.
Okay. So you guys are both going, or we're all going under, aren't we?
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're all going under on Kyrie, 25 points. Last one, Drew Holiday, 13.5 points.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I would probably pass that one also. But if I had to, if you put a gun to my head, I would go I'd go over.
I think he scores either 13 or 14. So what does that tell you?
It tells you to pass.
I'm going to Texas.
Pass.
El Paso.
Yeah, pass on that. All right. Well, let's give our game 4 predictions. Devin or Coach and I were both picking the Mavs to win the series in 6. Obviously, we're both going to be wrong. Deb could still be right. That'd be surprising if the Celtics won this thing in 6. That could still possibly happen, though. Game 4 predictions. Ladies first. Go ahead, Deb.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Boston in this one. I think they just put the pedal to the metal and sweep. They're going to continue to hold Dallas to under 100. And I think it ends up being 105-98.
Oh, wasn't that the score last game?
What was last game? The first game was 105-98.
Deja vu for Deb.
Yeah.
The first game was 105-98.
Like every game has been like 6 or 7 points, it feels like. But
yeah,
it's been real close in this sense. All right, Coach, what do you see?
I'm very seldom totally at a loss. There's so many intangibles of how people are going to react to this game. First of all, if you're betting it, just like betting the game itself, I wouldn't go super heavy because I can see scenarios where Dallas kills them, Boston kills them. It's close. I mean, I know that sounds like a chicken's way out, but I would go light on the game as far as the game itself goes. I think, and again, not the fandom speaking, as you could tell, I've trashed some Mavs in this one. I think the Mavs pull it out by 3 to 4 points. I think Boston gets close with it. I think Luka has a good game. I think PJ has a nice game. I think they'll gut it out and want to win one at home. And then I think Boston will finish it off in 5.
Okay.
I'm just going contrarian.
Yeah. Well, you went contrarian with your series pick too, and it's worked out so far for sure. So, what'd you say for the score, Coach?
108-104 Mavericks.
Okay.
And I did that just because Deb said that the Mavs would be held under 100.
I've got 112-108 Dallas. So. And Doug said he was picking Dallas by 4 tonight. So
all three of us have Dallas by 4? Right,
or Deb's going to be right. So.
We got to fly to Vegas. You and I and Doug have Dallas by exactly 4.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, so are you still going to be able to join us in July, Coach, for the Olympics?
Absolutely. I'd love to. That's one of my favorite things all season long is the Olympics. I should say I only get to do it every 4 years, but we did it last time and it was a blast. So I would love to join you for the Olympics. Absolutely.
Deb, can you get in on that?
What's the time frame of it?
Late July.
July, yeah.
I'll have to take a look and see what, based on what we've got some travel coming up then. So,
okay.
Let's take.
All you got to do is take guys with the itch. I see on the end.
I see at the end.
Itch,
exactly.
and then throw a few U.S. guys in there and all the itches, and you're good.
It would be fun. You feel a little itchy.
Yeah, right.
Josh is is your man Giannis going to play?
I think so. I think he's going to play for Greece.
I know he was going to, but I didn't know if the injury knocked him out or not. I know the 18 other Giannis Antetokounmpos are going to play.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see. Let's see. I know girls swimming. Okay, Doug. I don't even think there's DFS for that, but
wait a minute. That's a little uncomfortable.
It's like the double D.
Yeah, if you do synchronized swimming, I mean, I don't know if you can make any money on that, but that's it. And I'm not sure. Real quick, Doug, while you're in here, I'm not sure if we're going to do a baseball podcast or not today. I don't know if I have time for 2, but thank you everybody for joining us. Coach, it's been great to have you these last couple of podcasts. Great to have you on here with us too, Deb. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. If, like I said it earlier in the show, if you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us on Twitter, get in our Discord. We have a very family-friendly, very positive and encouraging community, just like you saw on the podcast today. We'd love to have you join us. Send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Our membership start as low as $4.99 a week. If you're on the podcast today and this is your first time viewing the podcast, send me a DM and I will get you in for the first week for free. So, guys, I hope everybody has an awesome weekend, Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody. Thanks for having me, Josh. Man, this last couple have been a blast. I look forward to joining you for the Olympics. And thanks, everybody. Keep supporting Crash, Doug, and Deb. Everybody does a great job, and I'm glad you guys are still running with it. So appreciate all of you. And Don't forget, Dallas in 7.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I mean, it's going to happen at some point. You know, my brother-in-law is a Boston fan, and I was telling him, I said, man, no one ever thought that a 16 seed could beat a 1, so it could happen. So
I'll make a commitment. If it goes 7, I'll come back on for Game 7 preview.
Okay, I'm in for that.
Awesome.
Deb, does that work for you? I think
that works for me. I'll make it work no matter what.
Deb's just
it's easy to commit to something you don't think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the 23rd is when that would be, which is crazy. It's another almost 10 days from now.
Yeah, they're stretching this out for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. We may be back later today for an MLB podcast. If not, we'll be back next Friday, of course. Hope everybody has an awesome weekend. We will be back as we look to crush it in NBA, MLB, NFL, PGA, DFS, and Prizepicks. Have a great weekend. Thank you.